Yeah. What's up? Welcome to Kahawa Nagowi, a conversation you'll have with your pastor that you won't have with your pastor. My name is Gowi Marco Dinge, and we want to welcome you to our continued series of talking about marriage. Today, I got a single guy with Kahawa Nagowi. I'll sip to that. Cheers, man. Yeah. Welcome,
Santi sana.
Eric Thimba.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my guy.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you,
Welcome
thank
to
you.
my
The seat, the hot seat. The hot seat.
I don't know if it's hot. Feel at home, man.
Feel at home, man.
Be comfortable.
I'm feeling good,
We
man.
have a good venue today.
Yes.
And we're going to be easy.
It's a very
talking
nice place.
about I'm going to be talking about being single. You know, back in the day, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, okay?
Yes.
So as guys who are Gen Xers,
Uh-huh.
there was a show called Living Single.
Okay.
And it was something that always liked watching. So I think we could, now they have this thing of single kiasi.
Single KFC.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's another show. You don't know about it?
I have no idea. No.
Oh my gosh.
Not bad, dude. I'll check it out.
Now you're making me feel like I am connected, you know? So, but I wanted, and I was thinking about having this conversation with you regarding, being single in these streets. And we've been talking about marriage and having guys here talking about and just what's the perspective of a single guy from that. And, just for clarity, for transparency here,
Yeah.
you're a single guy.
Yes.
You are, eh?
Yeah.
So first, just let guys know who you are, man.
So my name is Eric Thimba.
Yep.
I am a founder of Adula Ministry, which is a ministry that is really just a community of believers that are devoted to the word, to prayer, to fellowship, and to service. I'm also the founder of MOOC Africa, which is a technology company based in Kenya. And we have a ticketing and payments platform that is operational in Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. So I'm both ministry guy and
Business
also
guy.
a business guy.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I love God, man, and I've been a believer for now close to 25 years.
I remember the day.
You remember the day?
I remember
Yes.
that specific
Goy
day.
over here might not tell you, but he's been my pastor for the last, my pastor and spiritual mentor for the last 25 years.
But dude, man, I think we've not to downplay that,
Yes.
but I think we have there's a place we've graduated where we're now boys, man.
100%, but I still honor you as one of the people who laid a really great foundation that's many others have built on.
Yeah.
But you are pivotal in that.
Thanks,
so
man.
I appreciate you, Meji.
Asante sana, man. Asante sana. Okay, let's talk about singlehood and all that. Let me just
as the expert.
Yeah, you're an expert. I left that
42-year-old single man.
I left that several years ago.
And I've beat you by 2 years now.
You
Because I
beat
think
me.
you got married at 40, yeah?
Late 30s.
Late 30s, yeah. So me, I'm at that place where my parents now, they've called all their prayer groups.
Yeah.
They've done all the praying and fasting.
Dude, you're 42.
Yeah. 42.
And you're single.
Yes.
Are the prayers working? Are your mom's prayers working?
Man, I don't know, bro. It feels like there just seems to be, and maybe the whole point was for this podcast.
You think so?
Yeah. So once I finish here, I'm ready.
Now,
yeah. It might just be that I was meant to reach this point to come and talk to people about what it's like to be.
So is it hard? Is it hard being single, man?
I think so. And when I say hard, I mean like, and I don't want. I'm pretty certain that everyone will understand that this is my opinion. It's not like I'm not speaking as a
right.
as a leader of anything.
Maybe I'm leading you on. Let me just clarify what I mean by single. Okay,
Yes.
There are single things. It's a marital status. All right. So you are single because I briefed you kidogo. You're single because of a couple of things, all right? You're single because you've never been married.
Yes.
And you've never been married.
I've never been married.
All right?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
There's nobody
as far
out
as
there.
I know. As far as I know.
All right.
Yeah.
And then there's single. You're not living with somebody. So you've not had a living engagement with somebody. Those makam we stay kind of things.
Yeah.
So you're single that way. So there's not married, but you've been in that relationship where you've been playing chamama, chababa, and all that, right? You haven't done that,
No.
All right. And then there's single where you are in a marriage, and then that marriage for one or two reasons, one of other complicated reasons that marriage ended.
So divorced?
Yes, divorced.
No, I'm not divorced.
And you could also be single because you were widowed. But again, that's the situation where you were married before, but because of another reason that your spouse passed on. But you, just to establish, you are single because
I'm not married.
Oh, there's one other one. You're single because you have chosen to be single. So you have considered all other factors, and I'm like, nah, ain't gonna happen. I'm going to stay single. Because there are people who've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And interesting that you say that, because there was a period in which I was intentionally single. That I actually had reached a place where I thought to myself, with a lot of reflection,
maybe
that I wasn't sure that I wanted to be married.
Yeah.
And a big reason for that was just simply because I did not feel like I lacked anything.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Yeah.
I was not lacking in joy, in peace, in fulfillment. And to be quite honest, at the time, my reflection was really just more of not feeling this kind of need for companionship. Which I thought to be quite odd, because I thought, a lot of people were like, why don't you want this? Why don't you want to be with a companion?
Yeah.
And there was a point where I was just kind of like, I'm so happy and genuinely happy. Like, not happy the ones for, I'm happy in the state that I'm in. I was genuinely, completely happy.
So it hasn't been, I mean, the presumption for us guys who are on this side of I do say, Maze, your maisha ngumu. Not that being married is easier.
Yeah.
But is it hard?
I think it is. I mean, and mostly more so just from a carnal perspective of, let me just start from there. I'm a full-blooded male. You know what I mean? Of course I want to be able to get laid. You know what I mean? Like, just without any like convictions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guiltless.
A free for all. Yes.
Yeah. Guiltless strokes.
Yes.
And there were times also where you just do kind of feel like it would be nice to be able to have a companion to do some certain things.
To do life together.
You know? And so in that sense, yes. But I just think and this is just for me recently, I've just been so incredibly happy that I realized that was there going to be any significantly greater happiness than what I was experiencing at that present moment? And I wasn't sure that there was going to be that sense of fulfillment, that sense of like being in purpose, that sense of also being able to part of marriage is also about having kids. And for me, what's been such a great joy has been to me, discipleship in many ways has felt like having kids. And there's been so much joy in doing that. So
when you mean discipleship, is you're walking your own, faith journey with others.
Correct.
And helping other guys,
exactly.
walk that.
Grow in their faith.
You feel
exactly.
that is
exactly
in some form of way.
And,
so what I'm hearing you saying is that marriage is not a thing for validating you.
Exactly. And the thing is, and not to jump the gun in this conversation, but my sense is that when you live a purposeful life, the point of living a purposeful life is that it brings you incredible joy and fulfillment. Now, the thing that I find with most people, and even especially within the church context, is that, and I'm not trying to jump the gun in any way on this conversation, but I feel as though in many ways we idolize marriage.
Mm.
And
right here.
yeah,
I
exactly.
confess,
As
I
being
did.
this place,
I did,
you
guys,
did.
because then I was liberated from it. Yes.
It's this place you go to fulfill purpose. It's this place you go to experience fulfillment and joy. Yet all those things exist in Christ, not in marriage.
Yes.
So my thing is that
So we go to get something in marriage where we can already have it
in
even
Christ,
without
exactly
being in the marriage.
Exactly. And so the thing that I find is that there are so many people who, and this is the worst, the worst thing that happens is where people have destination disillusionment. Because what happens is they get into the marriage.
To that destination.
They get to that destination. And then you realize the thing that I was hoping for isn't here. And so the thing for me has just been, and of course it's not because I've had this great reflection around, I'm not trying to justify singlehood. I think for me it's just that understanding that if God willing I do get into a marriage, it will not be from a lack of purpose. It will not be from a lack of feeling like there's something that I'm going there to receive. You know what I mean? I just feel as though in my life as is, that I have found in Christ that there is purpose, fulfillment, joy, peace, and in many ways there is already existing a relationship of, and I know this is going to sound weird coming as a guy, but there's already, in a sense, a more glorious marriage and a level of intimacy that I experience with Christ that is absolutely and totally fulfilling.
So why do you say that's going to sound weird as a guy?
Because, I think for a lot of guys, one of the things that they struggle with is this version and this vision. Isaiah talks about this, and I think it's in Isaiah 54 where he talks about God being our husband.
Yes.
Right? And I think when you use the word husband, the babes understand that part.
Yeah.
Jesus is my husband.
Yeah.
As a guy, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of I don't know about that,
I'm
bro.
not that guy.
Yeah. I'm not like that, bro. I don't know. You need to find some new words.
Yes.
Can you be a wife? I don't know, dude. Like, but the thing for me is, it's really, for me, what it speaks to more is the intensity of the intimacy that we're able to experience from God. And that intimacy is absolutely and totally fulfilling.
Okay. Here's the question. So the assumption is, at least for guys from on this side of I do, where I am on this side, and many, we communicate this. Help me if this is a fair statement, that if you're single, you're incomplete.
Yes.
That's what we communicate.
Correct.
And unpack that kidogo.
That's just literally, in fact, in a nutshell, exactly what is the overall communication that people feel when they're single.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a deficiency. And this is not just a church thing. If you think about it, it's a cultural thing as well.
Yeah.
In a sense that everywhere you go, you're always deemed kind of like incomplete without marriage.
Yeah.
If there's no title that you can be able to come and say, my husband or my wife, whatever,
or my children,
or my children,
yeah,
it's almost like, are you really actually like living life? Are you actually experiencing joy and fulfillment? Are you a man?
Yes.
Not even just that, even from the granular level of like, there's certain things that are like, even in family gatherings, they still see you as like a child.
Yes.
Because you're not married.
Yeah.
And so everything around society and everything around culture, including, and that same mindset has also come into the church, right? Where, we have kind of like all these programs like singles.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like this like deficiency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
go and help yourself and become whole.
Exactly. Go and like, you know what I mean? And so there's this sense of you are incomplete without a partner.
Mm.
And for me, what I have found is just going back to what I was saying in terms of, when we talk about whether it's marriage, whether it's things to do with like men and women, what their roles are, all these things, is that you realize that when you come down to the whole perspective of what have we received in Christ, it is something that is significantly more profound than a marriage.
So what you're trying to tell me is that we are peddling an incomplete message to an individual. That marriage is something that validates them or that completes them. And that is what has been peddled even from the pulpit. Do you want to suggest that?
100%.
Okay.
And the thing for me is that it all boils down to all the different things that we have placed in front of an individual, and just more specifically in regards to talking about church, in front of the believer, that are there to, like, you will be worthy when. You will be worthy when you get married.
If you do something,
that's when you will achieve this worthiness.
Yes.
Right? Until you become her,
Yeah.
until you have this authority of a husband and you have this wife that you can, or you have these kids, you'll never fully understand. And for me, it's just, it really makes me sad, because I think that because of this teaching, it's actually the hindrance to marriage. And let me explain why. Let me explain this. Let me give you a theory of mine, yeah? My theory is
Even
this.
me, I'm sitting up like you.
This is my theory. This is my solid theory on this. One of the things that we know from scripture is how much God hates idolatry.
Okay.
He hates it. There are very few things that, if there's one thing that
But it's God is a jealous God. He's not shared.
He's not shared.
In fact, it is one of the commandments that you shall not put
exactly
an idol before him. Yes.
Exactly. That is the first and most important commandment.
Yes.
Now, what happens when you create a scenario where you idolize this institution that was meant to be purposeful, not idolized? And so what happens is that you realize, for many people within the church, that a lot of the things that they're praying for are very self-centered, and one of those things being marriage. But if you go into the prayer closet of a lot of believers, they're not praying about their communities. They're not praying about the kingdom initiatives. All they're praying about is
praying about poverty, injustice that is all around.
They're not praying about any of that.
Yes.
They're praying for a husband.
Yes.
They're praying that they may be married.
Yes.
My thing is this: God is not in the business of giving people idols. And as long as that remains an idol, I can tell you, till sun up, till sun down, there will be people praying for these partnerships. And until they gain the right perspective to what marriage is, and what it is meant to achieve, that as long as it remains an idol, God is not interested in giving us those things.
So you'd rather remain single?
I'm telling you, not you'd rather remain single. You will remain single.
Right?
You will remain single. That is not God's business to give us, and that's the thing. So for me, until you come to the place of being able to investigate, right? So one of the things for me, Goi, this year has been, there's been I think that this has been my theme for this year. It's been, God, search me. And when I pray this prayer, there's 3-4 things that I ask him to do. I ask him, one, are there any dark places in my life that need your light? And then the second thing I ask is, are there any mindsets that are hindering me from understanding you, or to living out my fullest potential? Number 3, are there any lies that I am believing that are hindering me from being able to live out your truth? And the last one is this: are there any idols that I am clinging onto, knowingly or unknowingly, that are hindering me from being able to receive your goodness?
Can I add a fifth one?
Please.
Are there any rhythms of my life that I have adopted that needs to change?
I'm going to add that one.
Yeah.
And so for me, what has
Yeah,
happened?
man, I'm also going to take those other.
You're gonna the other four.
The other four, man.
And let me tell you what has been
That's
so
a sermon right
fascinating.
there.
Yeah, it's a whole sermon. And what's been really fascinating to me has been through that prayer, God has been revealing to me idols that I didn't even know what they're going.
That you had.
That I had.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, you mean this is an idol?
Yeah.
And I want to suggest to you, Goy, today, even as we have this discussion, that I want to suggest to you that I think a lot of people who are listening right now, especially those who are single, that if God was to come and investigate your heart, I want to dare say that you may be idolizing marriage.
All right. Time for transparency here.
Yes.
Not on your part, on my part.
Yes.
So some of the challenges I've had in my marriage, and I think what has been of most recent is I've had to accept that I had idolized my marriage and the institution of marriage. It's what validated my credibility. Or what validated my parenting. And I've had to say, yo, man, it cannot be. And that when I was released from that, there was a difference of how I saw marriage. I showed, and let me just put it, it's harder to show up for marriage now. It's harder because now it's no longer my agenda. And dude, man, it's much more challenging to be married now that I understand even more that I idolized the institution of marriage. And so just being able to break free from that, and I'm not saying nimefika, it's still a process in itself. But I'd like to say, Timba, do you know you have been saved from a lot of madenas?
Yes. Paul says that.
I tell you what, Paul says that.
Yeah.
I mean, marriage is a big, can be a headache.
Yes.
All right. And let me explain to you why I think this is because a lot of your peers and guys who are younger have idolized marriage and have gone into marriage. And now, what did you say? Destination?
Disillusionment, yeah.
Are in that place, and it's beginning to inform their decisions moving forward. Unfortunately, for some, have fallen the wayside. Marriages are broken. Families are messed up. Kids are scarred because of exactly what you're saying. They went into marriage looking to be complete or feeling incomplete, and hoping that they could be validated. And it hasn't worked.
You went to drink water from a well that had no ability to quench your thirst.
Yes. So after you didn't know what your thirst was.
You didn't know, you didn't know what your thirst was. You didn't know that the thing that you're really looking for is Christ. You know, there's a portion that I've been reading the Old Testament, and I was reading about Jacob and how he called God the more than enough God. And, you know, I think, and I guess we'll do another podcast when I'm married.
And that's if you get married.
If I get married.
Yes.
Where for me, it's just that thing of I'm not going into this relationship to come and for it to complete something in me or to get something. You know what I mean? I'm actually coming here with a purposeful sense of what shall we do together? You know? Because there's a reason why God has brought us together.
Yeah.
It's for us to accomplish a mission or a purpose.
Yes.
And it's not because I want to feel validated or I want to feel a sense of joy and contentment
and
or completion.
Yeah.
Which are all things that Christ lavishly gave to us.
Yes.
Lavishly has given to us.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying that right now, dude.
So I think the 2 Peter 1:3 that says that he's given us all things for life and for godliness.
Yep.
So I mean, we are full package already.
100%, and extravagantly too.
So there's a pastor colleague of mine back in the day who used to start our premarital counseling classes by literally, and he's very vivid about creating such the dream wedding. You know, he paints a picture about everything is there, dream wedding, everything, and you're down the aisle, you know, at the front as the groom, looking down and seeing this beautiful bride, and he describes what the groom is seeing, and then he changes the picture, and he now paints the picture of the bride and what she was dreaming of, and there's this aisle and she's walking towards, you know, all that, and both of you are thinking how lucky I am to have that person, and everyone is like and just says there lies in the problem.
Oof.
There lies in the problem that you feel lucky to have somebody. That is a posture of incompleteness.
Man. And you know the thing that's so sad, what happens is, Goi, is because of that disillusionment that you experience, you basically begin to take it out on your partner.
Yes.
Because you are disgruntled that there's something you are expecting from them that they not only, it's not that they won't give it to you, they cannot give it to you. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Yeah.
They can't give you that thing.
You're speaking like you are married.
Yeah. So you're going there. You're going there to this empty well.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's dry.
And you're demanding water.
Yes. The akuna.
You're going to even the counselor, the therapist, everyone.
Yeah.
And because you're demanding something from this well.
Yes.
That literally is incapable. It's not that it will not.
Yes.
It cannot give you the thing that you're ultimately looking for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Wow. But there's a lot of people that go into that place and it's always so fascinating because, I see this all the time, the amount of people who are here in, and you can start to see the disillusionment settling in, where they're just kind of like, man, it's that what is it, destination where disillusionment where you get to that place and you're just there like, oh man, like, and now you're now having to recalibrate, you're having to now reframe, to rethink, to try and understand differently. But most times what people do is just take it out on their partner.
I did a transaction online. I bought some service and I was like, should I buy it's a package, it's a service, you know, there's a 1 month trial, 3 months, then year. And I bought one, and after just interacting with this thing, I was like, why in the world did I buy this? I paid so much money for this. It's like this buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
But you thought that this product or this service is going to help me, and it hasn't. And I was like, what a waste of money in itself till today. And that was last week. And I'm like, man, that's money I could have spent on someone. Do you see that is what many single people view marriage as something that will solve a problem?
Yes. So it's one of those things where it's just like, and you find this even in people that are dating from like in the direction of marriage, right? Is where you hear phrases like, this person is my everything. Let me tell you, anytime I hear those words, I'm just like, wait. The levels of disappointment this person has set themselves up to experience is at epic proportions. Okay, epic proportions of disappointment, or things like, I am, this person is my peace. I'm this person is, and so you begin to start having, and the thing that's so interesting
is my best friend.
And the funny thing is that because of social media and all the images that we see around relationships, you're just there like, goals, I want this, I just want to be with my person, experiencing the world together and all these things. And the thing that you begin to fantasize about,
which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But the thing that you begin to fantasize about is about this peace that is coming.
It's heaven.
this heaven that is
It's
coming.
going to come.
It's going to come.
Yes.
When that happens, then I will experience the thing, the longingness. When that thing happens, that's when I will feel so X, Y, and Z. And so the unfortunate thing is that the sad thing is that a lot of people live their lives not realizing that the very thing that they are anticipating is available to them right now,
right here
in Christ.
So do we in the church frown on singleness?
Yes.
We do.
Yeah, 100%.
How does that make single people feel?
I think it goes back to that thing where you just feel like there's something missing. You're incomplete. You're not, and it's almost like nothing you do now matters until you get married, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing, your life is not impactful until you get married, you know? And that's just what it feels like. Like it's just always this kind of sense of, you know, when are you next? When are you? You know, it's always it's like if someone keeps asking you that, at some point you start to you know what I mean? Now it's like we're in panic mode.
Yeah.
Just fill in this gap.
Uh-huh.
Right? So that everyone can just make me feel like everyone can just stop asking me.
So what are some of the stereotypes that you hear about singleness or being single? What are the stereotypes we guys on this side?
I think without a doubt, there's this blanket sense of single people are unhappy. That you don't find happiness until you find a partner.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yes.
That happiness, when you find a partner, and you can already see this, like there are people who, like, as soon as they get a partner, even before marriage, just dating, just like automatically now it's
they're
like
happy.
they're happy. You know, my man, my whatever, pictures everywhere, just to be able to show that, like, I'm no longer as sad as you guys. You know what I mean? Think of all the themes around Valentine's.
Does it go the same way for Jamas also?
I think so. I think for as a guy, there reaches a stage, like for me now at 42 years old, where basically almost everyone around you is like shacked up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So they start to look at you kind of suspicious. They're like, I don't know, about this guy. And then
guy, why is he single? Who hurt him?
Who hurt him? Yes, exactly. And then now, in fact, that's a good one, because what happens is they now start asking, what's wrong with you? How come no one wants to be with you? That guy must be a psycho. Yeah. It must be a psychopath or something. There's something wrong with that guy. So there's something wrong with you. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. If you're a single guy, there's something wrong with you. Because especially now, when at 42, especially, immediately when people, so there's always like, wait, like you're not married?
Yes.
Then there's a question of why.
Yeah.
Then you don't have kids?
Yeah.
Why? Then now the third part goes to, what's wrong with you? You know, now they're trying to, because they're like, you seem like a cool guy, but there must be something wrong with you.
What's wrong with you?
There's something wrong with you.
So how have you navigated that, man?
Yeah.
Maisha ni maisha.
Maisha ni maisha. But can I tell you something? And I know this is gonna sound so cliche, whatever. But for me, Goy, I just feel so affirmed in my life right now.
Yeah.
By God.
Yeah.
Affirmed in purpose, affirmed in mission, affirmed in so many ways, that I feel like I no longer, and I think we've had many discussions around this, I don't take offense easily.
Okay, got you.
You know what I mean? Like, I laugh it out, I laugh it off, but because I don't feel this void,
yes, I
don't go around mopping in my house being like, oh,
so what else?
I'm so sad being single.
What are the benefits and joys of being single?
My guy, you get to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. There's no one to be accountable to. Yes. Yeah, there's none of that. All my money is mine.
All your money is yours.
I be seeing how these guys, your niggas be struggling.
Yeah.
Hey,
guys are saying
about bills, bro. Hey, no. Me, my bills are just, my own things. And just to be honest, like, because I don't know what the other side looks like.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just super dope. Just like being able to, I can go on a full day retreat. No one's really looking for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of freedom. And
so what I'm hearing is that being single is actually can be an asset.
oh yeah, absolutely. I think it can. I mean, depending on how you view it, like, it's just that thing of you're not there's not a lot of things. And Paul talks about this actually. He does talk about like the fact that like you're not tied down to anything. Let me give you an example of what one of the reasons for me, a benefit of I'm glad, a moment when I was glad I was single is I remember when God spoke to me in 2022 and told me to move to Kampala.
That was a no-brainer.
I didn't have to go and have that conversation with my wife, my kids, to figure out how to relocate them. How do we move? So God has spoken to me, and I have to tell God, like, okay, can you also talk to my, and then that whole. So for me, it was like literally I wrapped up my life and moved,
Yeah, that decision happened in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was basically like a period of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I told my parents that what I was doing. It wasn't to ask for their permission.
You actually told me when you were in Kampala.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Not
you know what I mean?
before.
Yeah. Like I moved, like in 2 months, I'd wrapped up my life and I'd moved to Kampala to start afresh. Got to try, so that whole thing was, it was, I don't want to say easy, but it was, I think, a lot easier because I wasn't like.
You give me this. I'd like you to give me a parting shot kind of thing. But something I'm hearing from you, which I think we have, maybe to sum it up. One is singleness is not a disease and it's not a lack.
Yeah.
Secondly, singleness is not, it's actually, we spend more time of our life single than we will spend married.
Yeah.
It will happen one day.
Yeah.
And if we are married, one of us is going to die in the marriage. So we'll be single again. It's going to happen. If we die, we live longer than our spouse. So we are destined to always be single. So there's a place that we need to recognize in itself. But then thirdly, and I want you to unpack this a bit more, how your singleness can actually be an asset to you fulfilling your purpose. Can you talk a little about that as we close on where we're at?
And just to kind of connect what you've just said is going, my genuine overall complete sentiment is that whatever stage of life you're in, and we don't know, you could be at a place where there's grief because you've lost someone, and you talked about the different types of singleness. So it's not just single as in not married, but also the different stages of you don't have a partner, or even if you do have a partner. I think my thing is to realize that whatever it is that you are looking for, and whatever it is that you need for joy, fulfillment, and happiness, whatever you need to feel purposeful and fulfilled, whatever you need to get a sense of worthiness, will never be quenched by anything external. There's nothing. I mean, the amount of people, even just that, have great resources. And they just the other day, I remember Will Smith on a podcast talking about how he's like, I have all this money and still you're not happy. You're not, you don't have, and many people are like, man, when I get there, so there's always this thing of when I get to this place, when I get to that place, or I will start to, my purpose will become more profound when I'm at that place. And for me, the thing is just for people to realize that every single thing that you are searching for, looking for, desiring, is available to you in this present moment in Christ.
You've got what you've just done for me. It's given me a language to express that. Okay, I know of people who have built businesses, ministries. They have started an organization and all that, and they're married. And one of the things that has suffered is their marriage or their family. But the single people who have seen, this has been their only one purpose and sin. Men, they're living in their purpose and really fulfilled in what it is they're doing. They're passionate about this one particular thing. They're also single and are doing it well. There's no cost at that point of,
yes.
All right. And so I'm seeing that is another value you as a single person have that I don't have that benefit.
Yeah, kind of like focus. That's like
single,
you can be
focused on one particular thing.
100%. And even in ministry, focus in ministry. So it's almost like, and the thing that's so beautiful now is, to me, it feels as though if I was to be with someone, you're joining me on a journey.
Yes.
It's not now we start. You get me?
Yeah.
Because and so you'll find me on the field.
Oh yeah.
You get me? I'm not waiting.
Yes.
I'm not waiting for this to happen so that life can begin.
You go
or
on
that purpose can begin.
Yeah.
It's like,
wow.
Find me on the field. Niko kwa kiwanja.
Bro, I think this was just too short, man. You should have like more and
There's
more.
So much to unpack in this, man.
Oh yeah. I'll have you back here on Kana Gowi. All right.
Perfect.
Travel safe, bro.
Man. Thank you.
And I want to come and eat bananas in Kampala. Kra, as they call it.
In fact, I want to suggest to you the next one of the episodes is there's a studio that
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. You come on that side. We'll shoot an episode there.
I think I know what you're trying to get there.
In fact, we'll shoot a couple of episodes there. Okay. There's a few other people I'm sure you'd want to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
And we just shoot.
All right, man.
We shoot in Kampala.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, on site.
And we're done here with Eric Thimba on Kahawa na Gowi. You can catch us on YouTube and also on IG. Throw the conversation over there. We can talk more about it. Thank you, once again, my brother. Peace. We're out.